It's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your
Mayor of Portland, Tim Wheeler, yesterday in a press conference.
Yesterday's events began with hundreds of cars filled with supporters of the president, rallying in Clackamas County and then driving through downtown Portland. They were supported and energized by the president himself. President Trump, for 4 years, we've had to live with you and your racist attacks on black people. We learned early about your sexist attitudes towards women. We've had to endure clips of you mocking a disabled man. We've had to listen to your anti-democratic attacks on journalists. We've read your tweets slamming private citizens to the point of receiving death threats. And we've listened to your attacks on immigrants. We've listened to you label Mexicans rapists. We've heard you say that John McCain wasn't a hero because he was a prisoner of war. And now you're attacking Democratic mayors and the very institutions of democracy that have served this nation well since its founding. Do you seriously wonder, Mr. President, why this is the first time in decades that America has seen this level of violence? It's you who have created the hate and the division. It's you who have not found a way to say the names of black people killed by police officers, even as people in law enforcement have. And it's you who claimed that white supremacists are good people. Your campaign of fear is as anti-democratic as anything you've done to create hate and vitriol in our beautiful country. You've tried to divide us more than any other figure in modern history. And now you want me to stop the violence that you helped create. What America needs is for you to be stopped so that we can come back together as one America while recognizing that we must demand that all people, black, brown, white, every color, from every political persuasion, pull together and hold all people accountable in stopping racism and violence, and we together are peaceful again under new leadership that reflects who we really are, we the people of this great nation. President Trump, you bring no peace. You bring no respect to our democracy. You, Mr. President, need to do your job as the leader of this nation. And I, Mr. President, will do my job as the mayor of this city. And we will both be held accountable, as we should.
It's pretty bold stuff. I mean, he described what happened in Portland, and obviously this was all, agitated for by Donald Trump. It's been, dog whistle, bullhorn, whatever it is, just getting these white supremacists, to feel like they have a safe place with Donald Trump's America, that they can kill whoever they want, they can attack whoever they want, they can, tear gas whoever they want, they can ride through your city in mass, shooting paintballs at your eyeballs, blinding you, which happened over this weekend too in Portland. And Donald Trump will, celebrate you. Donald Trump will hold you up as a perfect patriot, which is what he did on Twitter as all this was unfolding. It's really sick. It's really sad. But just remember that this is a president. I wonder, does everybody remember when the El Paso shooter in the Walmart in El Paso, Texas, killed 22 people? Based on his adulation of Donald Trump and his anti-immigrant feelings that Donald Trump fomented in him and gave him permission to act on. Yeah, so when Donald Trump was asked about the El Paso shooter who killed 22 people in a Walmart, his quote was this, quote, "I think my rhetoric brings people together. He said that 4 days after a 21-year-old went in and shut up a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. A Latino gas station attendant in Gainesville, Florida, was punched in the head by a white guy, and the victim, was heard on the surveillance camera saying what the attacker said out loud. He said, he hit me, and he said, "This is for Trump. This is for Trump." And he filed charges against this guy who hit him in the back of the head, but then he dropped them because he got scared, because they weren't going to relent. And it was made clear Trump was going to support the attacker. A Washington state man was threatening to kill a local Syrian-born man, and the suspect told police he wanted to get the victim out of my country. That's why I like Trump. You heard that recording on the ABC news clip there. I mean, this is so unbelievable. 3 Kansas men were on trial for plotting to bomb a Muslim apartment complex. Remember this? In Garden City, Kansas, of all places. And they said, quote, "We're concerned about what President Trump had to say about the concept of Islamic terrorism." The lawyer for the man that tried to kill these Muslims said that Trump has become the voice of a lost and ignored white working class set of voters. That was his defense, that the president represents that perpetrator in his head. The lawyer argued that his client would normally be at a 7 in his hatred for immigrants, especially Muslims. But at night, when he hears Donald Trump, he would go to an 11. That was his lawyer's defense. That it's the president's fault. And there are 54 cases just like it. Just like it. Where lawyers are arguing, well, my client was, he was normally a hater, yes, but Donald Trump gave him permission to go, go to an 11. And these cases are everywhere from teenagers to 75-year-old men. 75-year-old men. And the victims, always the same. African Americans, Muslims, gay men, and Latinos. Over and over and over and over. So what is Donald Trump going to do? What's he going to do? So you have Jacob Blake, who is laying in a bed in excruciating agony. And last we left off, he was shackled to his bed. They were accusing him of sex crimes. It turned out that's not true. There was a warrant. It was vacated, and they took the shackles off like Friday night. This is a man who was paralyzed from the waist down, and they literally had a man in excruciating agony with 7 bullets in his back having to be removed, with a severed spinal cord and severed intestines, shackled to his freaking bed. And then you had a 17-year-old who was armed being let go by the police after he killed 2 people and literally blew an arm off of the third person. He got to cross state lines. He got to go home. He got to drive to Antioch, Illinois, right? He got to go without any molestation, without any stopping, with witnesses running behind him going, he just killed somebody with that long gun. The guy with the long gun, he just killed 2 people. He just killed 2 people. Shot a guy in the stomach. They let him go. They let him go. And the same thing happened in Portland. They don't pay any attention to these white supremacists doing all kinds of violence to all kinds of people. So you think another 4 years will look better or worse? Thinking Donald Trump's America, I'm safe? Do you? Does anybody who isn't completely pasty beige or see-through white think they're going to be okay in Donald Trump's America? I don't think so. I don't think so. This was the campaign. Donald Trump was going to run against Bernie Sanders, right? Socialism. But Bernie Sanders didn't get the nomination. Joe Biden ain't any of the things that Donald Trump was angling to present to the American people as the threat. The threat. Everybody knows Joe Biden is a moderate, down the middle, cross the aisle Democrat. Everybody knows it. But he has no other idea of what to do. He has no health care plan. He has no infrastructure plan. He has no plan for the economy. He has no plan for anything. And so he's going to foment violence. That's it. That's the whole plan. He's running Nixon's Law and Order campaign, which worked for Nixon in the 60s. But by 72, you had dead college kids at Kent State. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.